Yes, yes, yes. I'm digging those blues sounds. Yeah. All right. All right. Great day, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever we happen to be in this world. We are here together on this journey, and I am very grateful to see all of you. I'm Arne. I'm your host for this Tuesday edition of Daily Antidote of Song every single day. It comes to you through the beautiful folks at Carpe Diem Arts. Give them a hand, y'all. Put them up, put them up, put them up, 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 up. All right. It is Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. I think it's day 1192, but somebody's going to tell me for sure. Let's get this party started. Greetings to all the humans who are live streaming on all the platforms. Go ahead and wave to each other. Go ahead. Go ahead. You can do it. I want to say hello to Jojo Rossi. I don't know if she's in the room today, but we're sending her love and lots of appreciation and gratitude for making this gathering possible. And then our jamming on the one, jamming on the one, jamming on the one. Zoom Guru Goddess is the one and only Jaden Brick. Give her a hand, y'all. And let us see who is in the room today. Zroomin in the room, boom, boom, zoom room. We've got Kevin in DC, Trish in Victoria, Aloysius somewhere out in the world. We got Deli, Susan G in Cincinnati. Nancy is here. Dan Walker in Vienna. Pam is here. Hello, Ann in Knoxville, Karen in Iowa. We've got Cricket. We've got Sheila in Florida. Kate Galloway is here, everybody. We have Clive and Ruth in Birmingham, UK. Kevin is here. What's up, Kevin? Day 1192. Thank you for that. Hey, Bob. Bob is here. And then Bob and Bob, the other Bob is here on the iPhone. Greetings to you, other Bob. Bonnie in Boise. Did I say it correctly? Hello, Bonnie. We've got Kathleen in Albuquerque, Kathy in Virginia, Annette is in California, Susan Miller is in Seattle. We've got Bob Delaney here, Nancy and the Irish Cow. Storm is here. Hello, Storm, with something very interesting. Okay, it's looking like carrots. Oh, I got it. We got carrots. Thank you. We've got Fred in Silver Spring. Mabel is here. I'm loving the top, Mabel, with a bear. Oh, well, we've got Curly Tops in the house. Hello, hello, Caroline in DC. We've got JoJo in Tacoma Park. Hello, hello, Gary with Solutions. Hoda in British Columbia. Moon in Alexandria, Virginia. And Hindi, who will not be on the camera, but is here in spirit. And we are saying hello, hello, hello. All right, Kevin told us it's day 1192. It's 7-Eleven day, y'all. You know what that means? Free Slurpees at 7-Elevens all across the country. I wonder why. From 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., free Slurpees at every 7-Eleven. So if that's what you're into, go in and get them. Did y'all know there's 300 flavors of Slurpees? Did y'all know that? It's 300. Don't ask me what, but apparently there are. So that's something you all can indulge in. Another treat that we have for us on this glorious day, our guest. They are known and extremely beloved for delivering uplifting presentations of toe tapping songs spiced with humor, history, and tall tales. Not small tales, tall tales. They play old time blues, Appalachian music, songs of the enslaved, spirituals, and even original compositions. They accompany themselves on fingerstyle picking and bottleneck blues guitar, old time banjo, blues harmonica, piano, spoons, and bones. And we are very grateful to have them in our midst again. We're speaking one and only Sparky and Rhonda. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Saw a few friends out there in those little tiny spaces, and then I saw some feet too a little while ago. Waving back at me.
All right. So, how are you both doing today? How are you doing, Sparky?
Still on this side of the dirt.
Still on this side. All right. We love it. And how about you, Rhonda?
You want to hear about my back pain?
Oh, oh. Your back pain or your pain in the back? Okay. Let's keep going.
Oh, look out
Oh, okay.
now! It's a family show.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. What do you have in store for us today?
Well, I gotta tell you, I uh, I was born in the right after the World War II. I'm talking almost 9 months after my dad got back from the war. And then there was this whole thing that happened in the world after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that people began to worry about how we were going to deal with the realities of the new brand of war. And I got to tell you, as a kid, doing that duck and cover exercise, and then they actually issued dog tags to us. And I would get to the point I was nervous every time I'd hear a siren, even like a ambulance going by in the middle of the night, I'd wake up and I started realizing I was having these kind of worries and then realizing that Oak Ridge, Tennessee, which is one of the places that Oppenheimer's people developed that bomb, was very close to where we live. So I thought, with the new saber rattling that's going on in the world and the uneasiness of, because people are beginning to devolve instead of evolve, that maybe we better sing this song. Gonna do a slower version of it first, and then when we do it again, we'll pick it up. But old folks, when they would talk about things and, you'd ask them a question and they'd say, let me study on it, meaning let me think about it. And so this song, gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside to study war no more. Well, I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Well, I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I'm gonna shake glad hands all around the world, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. What I say, come on, shake glad hands all around the world, down by the riverside to study war no more. Well, I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Well, I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna no more. Well, I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Well, I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no
All right. Oh, woo! All right. Rocking the blues. Rocking the blues this morning. Rhonda, would you mind coming up so we can see you and speak with you? We'd
I
appreciate
think
that.
that was the fuzzy part.
So while she's doing that, Sparky, what's your shirt say?
I don't know if you can see it with the other things in front of it, people coming in, I guess. It says freedom, and it's a thing for Juneteenth, a celebration we just did up in Kentucky, up in
Lake Cumberland
Lake Cumberland.
Wow.
Cemetery.
Wow. Wow. What was that like for you?
Well, it was hot. It was they had the tarp over the stage, but the sun decided to come at a different angle.
Wow.
But yeah,
Okay.
no, it was really, really great. There were people doing poetry and whatnot. And this young man came out and sang an a cappella version of "Lift Every Voice and Sing." And you know that's one of the hardest songs to sing because it's got a really low register part, a real high register part, and he hit all the notes beautiful. And I said, man, I gotta shake your head. I said, anybody can do that. Yeah,
Wow.
it was a fun time.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. Congratulations. And you got a t-shirt out of it.
Yeah, I got the T-shirt. Yes.
All right. That was quite a bluesy version of the song Ain't Gonna Study War No More. My grandmother grew up in the Hollows of Mobile Junction out in Bessemer, Alabama.
Okay.
And she would always talk about ain't studying this, ain't studying that. So, you
In
know,
fact, we were just doing a community sing. Was it yesterday?
2 days
Two
ago.
days ago, and the guy brought up the fact that I ain't studying you. And
right.
the thing is, that was what we would say it to. I ain't studying you. Had no idea I was saying studying,
Exactly.
but it was because of the old time folks saying it to us, and that's an expression that's gone away now in terms of saying I'm not going to think about you anymore. I ain't studying you.
Well, there are other ways to say it, but we can keep it. We can keep it alive. And speaking of keeping things alive, I want to talk with you about one of my sheroes, my blue sheroes, Victoria Spivey. You actually knew her?
Yeah. In fact, there's a picture circulating on the internet of her sitting on my lap. But I met her back in the uh, 1970s. Um,
She must
up
have
in
been in her what's late 60s, 70s.
Yeah, by that time, and Lenny, and I can't think of his last name right now, but he was her boyfriend, manager. would always travel with. He called her Queen. Hi, Queen. He called her that, and she would just love. She was living in Brooklyn at the time, but um, I met her up in Brattleboro, Vermont, at a festival, and she loved what I did, and she said, "Oh, you got to come visit me in Brooklyn sometime." Of course, you knew I was going to go, right? And I showed up, and while I was there visiting her, they said, "Well, we'd like to get you to do some recording sometime." And I said, "Sure." They said, "How about right now?" And so they got out a little tape player, and Lenny stood there and put one mic in front of my mouth and the other in front of my guitar. And I recorded 3 songs for an album that they brought out called Blues, Victoria Spivy's Blues. Now I'm spaced down.
Showcase.
Showcase, right. And because of that album, I got invited to tour 3 times in Europe with the American Folk Blues Festival all over Europe, and even into Behind the Iron Curtain.
Wow.
So that was quite an experience, getting to know her and to have that whole thing just change the course of my performing career.
Okay. All right. Well, you just helped me out with something. Her last name is pronounced Spivey and not Spivey.
Well, that was the way I heard it. Yeah, Spivvy.
Okay, so I'm going with what you say. I'm following you because no one ever told me differently. Because
Well, the thing is, it's just there. Not many people. I mean, that name has disappeared from the planet as far as I don't know anymore.
wow, wow.
Yeah,
Well,
but she was
I
really a sweet woman, and and in fact, on the recording, she's doing the amen kind of things. Ooh, child, because I did a song, Black Snake Moan, which is one of those racy songs, and she was just, oh, doing things like that in the background.
wow, wow.
You would have loved meeting her.
I would have loved meeting her, and I almost got to meet Alberta Hunter. I was,
Oh yeah.
traveling too much, but yes, Victoria Spivey, um, of course, Bessie Smith, Ida Cox, one of my favorites out of Chicago.
Oh, I gotta tell you, Ida Cox went to my granddaddy's church.
Get
And
out!
yeah, here in Knoxville, because those Coxes were from Knoxville.
That's right.
Yeah, and after my grandfather died, the church, being in the way churches were, kicked her out of the church because she sang the blues.
Wow. And the same churches probably that kicked Thomas Dorsey out because he was playing the blues, or they didn't want to. When he moved over to Professor Thomas Andrew
Well,
Dorsey, he got more respectability.
well, the thing about it is that now all the church people that are still around, they love what I do, because I do old church songs too, but I'm the grandson of the Bishop John Lindsay Rucker, who started the church. And so Church of God, comma, Sanctified Church.
Wow.
And it started in Knoxville, and then it moved to Nashville, which is where the headquarters, and then they opened up branches up north, like in Chicago, Detroit, Pittsburgh, places like that. Then he took it to Jamaica, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic. Yeah.
Wow.
In
Oh, you
fact,
one of them Ruckers. You one of them Ruckers.
yeah, I'm one of them Ruckers.
Oh. Okay, okay. I was going to ask you about the people behind you, but before we do that, Rhonda, you grew up in the Methodist Church. Was it CME? What colored Methodist? What?
Yeah, she's
I grew up
passing
CME.
Originally, it was just the plain Methodist Church, and then they joined with another denomination, and I'm blanking on who that was, but they United
it.
Brethren, maybe, I can't remember, and they so it became United Methodist Church, and that happened during my childhood. I remember it happening, but yeah, and we sang song, the hymns from the hymnal on Sunday morning, but there was also a Wednesday night gathering, and that was much more informal. And sometimes they wouldn't use the hymnal at all, or sometimes they would use the old ones. And so those were the old songs, and that's where I heard those old ones. When the roll is called up yonder, and I'll fly away, and all those ones that I heard my dad sing when we were taking trips. He would be driving and singing those songs.
No radio, dad singing.
Oh,
Oh,
I love it.
I have fond memories of that. But
Oh, tell me some of the songs. Remind me of some of the songs. You said When the Rolls Call Up.
yeah. Um, oh gosh, I don't know, like
Oh, Blessed
Precious
Assurance
Memories,
and
Blessed Assurance. Yeah,
oh,
those.
Fanny, old Fanny.
Yeah, we. Yeah, and uh, the other one that we recorded, Near the Cross,
Oh my
that
goodness.
she
Michael
wrote
Bowie.
as well. Yeah. Yeah, Fanny Crosby was wrote some fine
She
hymns.
sure did.
She was a good lyricist, uh, and then somebody else put tunes to him, William Howard Doane. But anyway, I do like a lot of her music, and All the Way My Savior Leads Me. Just yeah, a lot of those
Like near
old
my God to
hymns.
thee. Didn't she do that?
I don't think she did Near
Oh,
My God to
okay.
Thee. I'm not sure who wrote that, but yeah, that's an old one too. Um,
Wow.
yeah, we
So,
did Near My God to Thee. They supposed the legend was that they sang that as the Titanic was going down. So we put that in a Titanic medley on one of our albums, the first album that we did together.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that is
Oh, that
a
was funny.
Titanic medley, huh?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
starting
Well,
off with the thing about Jack Johnson, the rumor that they didn't let him on board, so
Lead
Jack,
Belly did a Titanic song.
and so we did do verse of that, and then we'd do the one that Bessie Jones
Bessie
that I learned from
Jones,
Bessie Jones.
the Georgia Sea Island Singers,
God moved
Bessie
on the
Jones.
water. You know that song. God moved out on the water. April
April
the 14th
14th
day. Yes,
day,
God
God
moved out on the water. Everybody
moved,
had to
run
run
and
and pray.
pray.
It's a really, really fine song. And then we
Wow.
stop and then we go into doing Near My God to Thee and let it
Let
sort
it
of fade
sink.
out.
Okay, so where do we get that? What recordings are those on?
It's on our first Flying Fish
Yeah,
album.
Treasures and
Treasures
Tears.
and
You
Tears.
know, a lot of them are we don't have anymore.
But they're people have them
Yeah,
illegally on the web.
yeah. The ones that we have, Let Freedom Ring was our most recent one, and or not the most recent one, but second to last, I guess. It has a lot of freedom songs
Down
and
by the riverside is on
yeah,
on
Down
the
by the
last one.
Riverside is on the last one. Yeah, that has a lot of spirituals and that kind of thing. And then there was one that we focused on our area, the country, the Southern Appalachian area, because we're in the Knoxville, Tennessee area, called Mountains Above and the Valleys Below. So we did, that was an interesting project because we focused on, we said, well, we're going to include some of the things from the African American tradition, include some of the things from the white tradition. But
Yes.
you can't really tease them apart. They've been together for so long, and it's just they're woven together so beautifully, and that's what makes it such a beautiful culture.
Yeah, the
Um,
Southern
you know,
Appalachian culture
yeah.
is wow. It's
So there's some
amazing.
great, the music and all the other arts that come out of this area.
How you are in the Appalachian region where you are in Tennessee?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Oh
About
yeah.
15 miles from the Smokies.
Wow.
You can see the
Wow.
out our back window. You can see the foothills. Yeah.
Incredible. That's incredible. Sparky, I want to talk to you about your daddy for a moment. What's his name?
Well, I'm a junior. His name is James David Rucker, senior,
Of
and
of the Rucker clan.
right of
Of
the
the
Rucker
Ruckers.
clan. He was the youngest boy, and the bishop and his wife Luola, who are on my wall too. I've got them all over the place. They're back there, but they had 12 kids, six boys, six girls. So it's like a football team and a spare, kind of thing.
I love it. I
But
love
uh, but my dad, he was the last of the boys that were born, and after leaving World War II, he came home and worked for a short time as an insurance agent, and then became a policeman, and rose to the rank of captain in the Knoxville police force. And that's, I mean, that's still a rare thing in this area to have a black police captain.
That's what I'm saying. So this was an integrated police force?
Yes, although for the longest time they had a separate dressing room for the black cops and the white cops.
Of
But
course.
when my father died, because he was a veteran, he was given a military funeral, and the police force did this 21 gun salute and whatnot. So it was an amazing thing. It brought tears to my eyes for a different reason, not just because my father died, but to see how much he was admired by the populace as well.
He was a big guy, and I mean, towered over you
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
And Sparky's a big guy, but he was a gentle, kind
yeah.
person, and had just impeccable integrity, I would say. And before going out on, to do his work, he gathered people around and he had a prayer with them.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, which I think sometimes police forces need these days,
This is so
right?
interesting because the two of you, you're coming from different perspectives in terms of law enforcement. Sparky, your dad was a law enforcement officer. For you, Rhonda, in addition to being a composer and a multi instrumentalist, a medical practitioner, and an authoress of novels. What is that? Swing Low, Sweet Harriet, Make a Change, and then Welcome to Birmingham. You talked about Birmingham, which is Birmingham, my grandmother's hometown. The police were viewed a little differently, in your opinion.
Absolutely.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about that for a minute.
Yeah. Well, oh, I mean, some of them were Klan people. A lot of them probably. I mean, there's no way of knowing, I guess, for sure how many, but
But
yeah,
definitely slaveholders.
yeah,
And you're talking about your people.
descendants of Oh, we're talking about Birmingham,
Oh, I thought you were
the
talking about.
police in
And
Birmingham.
we're just
Is
talking
that what
the
we're
police
talking about?
force. Yeah, we're talking about the police because on some level,
Birmingham
for you,
police force.
Sparky,
Yeah.
Sparky, did you grow up knowing you could trust the police because your dad was a member of the police force? Uh,
Actually, my father gave me that talk really early.
Woo!
Talk because he said some of those people. He knew some of the people on the police force were bad people. In fact, during the civil rights movement, which I was a big part of, he and another policeman, a man named John White, big, tall, black man, I mean, even bigger than my daddy, used to threaten, as they call it, the redneck police. Said, if you hurt my son or any of his friends, you're going to have to deal with us. And that's
Wow.
one of the reasons that with the University of Tennessee, where I went to school, that the police were very hands off against a lot of my beatnik hippie friends that were also in the movement, to leave them alone because my father had warned them. I don't want to see any problem. And let me just real quick caveat: about 3 days before Martin Luther King was assassinated, the FBI told my father a lie, said that somebody was going to put a hit on him, and we had to move every night from one place to another with a policeman standing guard outside the door. And they named somebody that said it was going to kill him, was somebody that was a friend of mine, and so I knew they were lying. And then, and I had heard this story, and seen all that thing. So when King was assassinated, I was dealing with the fact somebody was trying to kill my father. Okay, so just think about the conflict that my body was going through at that time. Well, Rhonda just recently found on the web where they mentioned when they were doing that House Investigations on Assassinations Committee, talked about this black police sergeant, that's what my father was at the time, that had been told this story. And it was a very similar story to something that they told this black, what was he, a fireman in Memphis?
Yeah.
The same story, that somebody was going to try to kill him. And that's why they took him off of him trying to protect Martin Luther King. And because they knew about this, that they actually contacted me first and then contacted my father to ask him about that fake story.
Wow. So this was part of COINTELPRO?
Yeah, exactly. And Ron Dellums was the one that called. You remember him?
Of course, of
Right,
course.
black
Representative
congressman.
from
He
California.
was the
Yeah.
one that called.
Oakland.
I talked to him first, and then I told him to call my father. Yeah, And that,
So the hit was planned, and they were purposely taking black police officers and black officials
out
away
of
so they could not protect.
and so they would also tamp down any of the rioting that actually happened after King was assassinated. This is all something Hoover was doing.
Wow. Wow.
Scary. I mean, when you
No,
realize
it's just, when the facts come to life, it's things that we knew, but to actually see it in writing. Rhonda, how did you come across that information? Were you
It's
just
in the
randomly looking?
it's not just somewhere on the web. It's the official report from their investigation. Yeah.
they didn't mention my father by name, but he was the policeman that they were
Yeah,
talking
they
about
said
'cause
police sergeant, a black police sergeant, and
in Knoxville,
it
and at
was
that time he was the
he was
only
the only
black
one.
police sergeant.
So it was him. Yeah.
That sounds like a story there, Rhonda. I don't know if you sparking up the typewriter again, but this could be an incredible young adult novel. I mean, and it's historical as well.
Yeah.
You, are
It's
you
it
writing
could be.
anything?
Well, we're working on my memoirs, and that's definitely one of the stories that's going into memoirs.
Gotta be. Gotta. Wow. Well, tell us something that's bringing the both of you joy these days. Y'all going to get 7-Eleven
I'm the
Slurpees
glass
today?
half full, so I guess it has to be me.
Y'all going to get 7-Eleven Slurpees today? Is that going to bring you a little bit of joy?
The whole thing about, when you get married, you only have half a brain because you have to look at each other to make the decision.
That's
You know what
right.
I'm talking about, right? So I ask you a question, you have to look at each other.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So,
That's
but
why they separate you when they take you to jail, so you just have half a brain to come up with
you
as
can't
an
get your story
alibi.
straight. You can't get your story straight. Well, any new projects that you're working on that perhaps we can support you with?
The, we've been buried in the memoirs, and
I was just recently given
a storytelling
storytelling
fellowship
fellowship
last
through
year.
the
He got that.
National Association of Black Storytellers, and that's one of the ways that we're funding this research that we're doing.
All right, that's the Black Appalachian Storytellers Fellowship.
Well, it's black African American storytellers,
Okay, okay, all right. So
and
yes,
they
well,
gave it to
congratulations on that.
it was the Appalachian, yeah, and it was one per state, one person per state. So I was the one that got it from Tennessee, and I just got a thing that they're getting ready to do for this year too. So it's a nice fellowship, to help to go to archives and whatnot to do some work and whatnot.
Wow.
And so it's making me feel like I've got the time to do this work. And Rhonda's been really instrumental in helping me with this.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, you've got incredible stories to share. Look forward to reading more. Can we get that song again, please? Can we
Sure.
please? Can we please?
And I want to thank all the people that logged on to see us today.
You got quite a few fans here, so make sure you save the chat because a lot of people are saying all kinds of things to y'all. And I mentioned just for those who are listening before they start playing again, who's familiar with Tiny Desk Concert Series? If you are, put it in the chat because we need to have Sparky and Rhonda as part of that. So put it in the chat if you know what it is and give them. I think they have auditions once a year, but we want to send some love their way because we're projecting that we'll be seeing a Tiny Desk concert from all of you and bringing new audiences to you. Okay, take it away, please.
We're going to play it a little bit faster this time. Whoops. Got my finger pick was sliding off in the wrong direction. That's my excuse, Your Honor, and I'm sticking to it. Gonna lay down my soul and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by down by the riverside to study war no more. Well, I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Gonna shake glad hands all around the world, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Come on, children, shake glad hands all around the world, down by the riverside to study war no more. Well, I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 Woo! Come on now. Well, I ain't gonna study war no more. Ooh, study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Well, I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more.
Woo! Yes! Woo! Sparky and Rhonda Rucker. Those
Thank you.
Ruckers of the Ruckers of Tennessee. That incredible family. We want to thank
Tennessee.
you both. We want to thank you both for being here. I wanted to go through all the photos behind you, but for the moment, I'm going to say that for those who are here in the room, I want to nominate Sparky and Rhonda for Tiny Desk concert, and it's not just for emerging artists. It's Edge and you and Bono were there. Okay, they ain't emerging artists. We need to have them on a national audience, in front of a national audience. Let's get to the tiny desk people, and just amongst us in here, I think Jaden's going to put a link of how to reach out to them. But we need them. They are national, and we need to
Well, I
have them
broke my
with us.
guitar.
And when you all go, y'all got to bring the spoons, y'all got to bring the bones, y'all got to bring the kitchen sink. Just prepare to take everything to Washington D.C. There. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. What I say that for? Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much for being here, Sparky and Rhonda Rucker. Thank you so much. Give him a
God
hand, y'all.
bless.
Give him a hand. Give him a
Love you guys.
hand.
We help each other out.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Rhonda, you got some last words for us?
I I don't think so. Thanks for
What he said.
being here.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
coming.
I mean, yeah, thanks for coming to the.
Okay. I thought you meant like showing up and I think I hear the doorbell.
Thank you
Bye
both for
bye.
being
Take
here.
You need
care.
to save the chat
Bye-bye.
before you.
Okay. All right. I think they'll send it to you. All right.
Love
Wonderful.
you guys.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Everybody give him another hand. Give him another hand. Woo! Tiny desk. Tiny desk. Tiny desk. Get there on the internet. Put their names in. Let's bring some attention to them. We appreciate it so much. And I don't know that there are any announcements for today. Jaden, are there? Yes or no? No announcements? Okay, let's keep moving forward. We want to thank everyone who's streaming in on the platforms. We appreciate you. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you again. And then we'll say goodbye to Kevin in DC, to Delhi, Susan in Cincinnati, Dan in Vienna, Pam, we thank you for being here, Ann in Knoxville, Cricket, thanks for being here, Sheila in Florida, Clive and Ruth in Birmingham, Kevin, hey! Kevin is here with us. Thank you. Day 1192. I'm liking the hair, Kevin. We got Bob. Thank you for being here. Kathleen in Albuquerque. Annette in California. Nancy, thank you for being here. Storm, appreciate you. Fred in Silver Spring. Mabel with a bear and orange. Thank you so much in Massachusetts. Caroline in DC. Kat Cox in Vermont. Any relation? You any kin to Ida Cox? Figure it out. Don and Liana, yes, the curly tops in Vermont. Gary with Solutions, thank you so much for being here. Jamie in Victoria, Kathy in Virginia, Bonnie in Boise, Trish in Victoria, Linda in Concord, Massachusetts, Bob and a bear somewhere in Massachusetts, Aloysius out in the world. We got Willard the curly top downstairs, representing the downstairs aspect of life. Hoda in British Columbia, Moon in Alexandria, LMG, Kate and Jane in Maryland. We appreciate all of you today. Thank you for sharing your love, and let's take a breath. And go get some Slurpees. All right, y'all. I get it. I'll see you next time.